Welcome to CourtSpiral, where truth is stranger than fiction. Today, we're diving into one of the most shocking legal battles that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about justice. In the world of the rich and powerful, no one is beyond the law. But sometimes the law itself becomes a game where the stakes are higher than we can imagine. Let's take a look at how the case of the mayor's office scandal unfolded in a bustling city hall, a place that should serve the public but instead became a battleground for corruption and deceit. It all began with a whistleblower, an employee in the mayor's office who noticed irregularities in the allocation of city contracts. These contracts were worth millions, and the employee, fearing for their job and safety, decided to come forward. Their testimony revealed a shocking web of favoritism and bribery that implicated not only the mayor but also several city council members and high-ranking officials. The allegations were serious: kickbacks, inflated contracts, and a network of shady dealings that went back years. As the news broke, the city was rocked. Citizens were outraged, demanding accountability from their elected officials. Protests erupted outside City Hall with signs that read, "Justice for our city and no more corruption." The public outcry was deafening, putting immense pressure on the authorities to take action. But the question remained, would justice be served? The investigation began in earnest, with the state attorney general's office stepping in to conduct an independent inquiry. They appointed a special prosecutor known for their relentless pursuit of corruption. As investigators sifted through piles of documents, emails, and financial records, a clearer picture began to emerge. It became evident that a culture of corruption had infiltrated the very heart of the city government. Witnesses came forward, some feeling empowered by the initial whistleblower's bravery, while others were compelled to speak out due to fear of retribution. One key witness was a contractor who had been pressured to inflate bids in exchange for a promise of lucrative contracts. Their testimony was chilling, detailing how the mayor's office orchestrated a scheme to divvy up taxpayer money among their friends and associates. This contractor, once a loyal ally to the administration, now found themselves entangled in a legal nightmare, fearing they might be charged as an accomplice. As the investigation deepened, the special prosecutor uncovered a series of suspicious campaign contributions linked to city contracts. It appeared that city officials were not only enriching themselves through direct kickbacks, but also using these funds to fuel their political campaigns, creating a vicious cycle of corruption that was hard to break. The prosecutor knew that this was only the tip of the iceberg. Just when it seemed like this case was about to wrap up, something unexpected happened. A mysterious figure emerged, claiming to have crucial evidence that could change the trajectory of the entire investigation. This individual, who had previously remained anonymous, stepped forward at a press conference, flanked by attorneys and flanked by cameras. They were a former aide to the mayor, and they brought with them a trove of documents and recordings that allegedly implicated not just city officials, but also lobbyists and influential business owners in a conspiracy to manipulate city contracts. The revelation sent shockwaves through the community. The aide's dramatic testimony painted a picture of a city crippled by corruption, where decisions were made not in the interest of the public but for personal gain. They detailed clandestine meetings held in dimly lit restaurants where deals were brokered over expensive meals and envelopes filled with cash exchanged hands. The evidence presented was damning, leading to renewed calls for the mayor's resignation. As the scandal grew, so did the interest from national media. Reporters flocked to the city, eager to uncover more layers of this unfolding drama. The public's appetite for the story was insatiable, with news outlets publishing exposés that detailed the mayor's extravagant lifestyle funded by illicit gains. The narrative became a perfect storm of intrigue, betrayal, and the fight for justice. However, with the increasing scrutiny came resistance. The mayor's office launched a counteroffensive, claiming that the investigation was politically motivated, an attempt to undermine the current administration. Legal teams scrambled to discredit the whistleblower and the former aide, questioning their credibility and motives. They painted a picture of desperate individuals seeking revenge rather than justice. The narrative shifted, and soon it was unclear who could be trusted. The courtroom became a theater of war, with both sides digging in for a battle that would last months. As the trial commenced, the courtroom was packed with spectators eager to witness the unfolding drama. The prosecution laid out their case methodically, presenting evidence and calling witnesses who testified about the inner workings of the corruption scheme. Each revelation was met with gasps from the audience, as the prosecution painted a vivid picture of greed and betrayal. The defense, on the other hand, worked tirelessly to sow doubt in the minds of jurors. They argued that the prosecution relied heavily on hearsay and circumstantial evidence. They insisted that the whistleblower and the former aide had their own agendas and were not to be trusted. As the days turned into weeks, the tension in the courtroom reached a boiling point. The stakes were high, not just for the accused, but for the entire community that had been betrayed by its leaders. During the trial, a turning point emerged when the prosecution managed to secure a surprise witness. This witness, a low-level city employee, had initially been reluctant to testify. However, after seeing the mounting evidence against their superiors, they found the courage to come forward. Their testimony corroborated many of the earlier claims, adding a layer of credibility that the prosecution desperately needed. They spoke of the pressure they faced to conform to the corrupt practices and the fear that gripped them every time they witnessed wrongdoing. The defense, caught off guard, struggled to counter this new evidence. The narrative began to shift, and the jury seemed to lean in favor of the prosecution. Yet just when it appeared that the tide had turned, the defense pulled out a bombshell of their own. They produced a witness of their own, a prominent business owner who claimed that the entire investigation was based on fabricated evidence and that their relationship with the mayor was purely professional. The courtroom erupted in chaos as both sides fought to maintain control of the narrative. The jury was left reeling, bombarded with conflicting testimonies and accusations. With public opinion swaying back and forth, the case took on a life of its own, drawing attention from pundits and commentators across the nation. As the trial dragged on, emotions ran high. The mayor, once a beloved figure in the community, now found themselves at the center of a scandal that threatened to unravel their entire career. Supporters rallied outside the courthouse, holding signs that read "innocent until proven guilty," while critics demanded justice for the betrayal of public trust. The courtroom became a microcosm of the city itself, reflecting the deep divisions that had arisen in the wake of the scandal. Finally, after weeks of intense testimony and cross-examinations, the jury was ready to deliberate. The tension in the courtroom was palpable as the jurors filed in, their expressions serious and focused. They had heard the evidence, seen the witnesses, and now held the fate of the accused in their hands. As they began their deliberations, the world held its breath. In the end, justice prevailed, but it left behind many unanswered questions. The jury found the mayor guilty on several counts of corruption, and the subsequent sentencing sent shockwaves through the community. As the gavel struck, marking the end of the trial, the mayor's downfall became a cautionary tale about the dangers of power unchecked. But what about the other city officials? Some were indicted while others walked away unscathed. The fallout from the scandal rippled through the local government, and many wondered if true reform could ever take place. Was the verdict truly fair, or was there more beneath the surface? The community was left grappling with the realization that the corruption ran deeper than anyone had imagined. What do you think about this case? Was justice truly served, or did the system fail? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to CourtSpiral for more shocking stories from the world of law. Don't forget to like and subscribe to CourtSpiral. We're back every week with new, shocking stories. Let's continue exploring just how unpredictable justice can be.